about 6:45 or so, several members of the public group, Town of Western Civic Affairs, enters the building and set up their cameras to record the town board meeting, which starts at 7 p.m. The last policy change in the board's last meeting for recording stated nothing about individuals having multiple cameras, cell phones, or recording devices. So, those members of the group set up 4 cameras, 2 cell phones and 2 GoPro cameras, in case one or a number of the cameras are either confiscated by the board, removed by the board, or otherwise are either disabled, as has been done in the past by these and other members of other boards in the town, in order to thwart the recording activities of these folks in recording the meetings against the desires of the town board.
They have to attend it down.
If you're not
unattended.
Let's shut them off
Take them
then.
down.
It's not surveillance. It's supposed to be recording. I didn't have to do that.
As Larry Myrick, town council, previously stated when asked why the town had such an issue with the cameras.
What is the problem with cameras?
It's usually not the problem with cameras. When the videos are edited and
You don't go.
It's not the cameras, it's when he takes the videos home and changes them and then posts them online. That's the issue. Truly an amazing statement to make in public view, to minimize the rights of any American within the Constitution's First Amendment to freedom of speech.
see the true video, but when the video is edited and comments are put out on Facebook,
Specifically redress and criticism of the actions of those that serve the public in elected or appointed capacities in Western. This board's decrepit views of that constitutionally protected right is clearly out of whack with the reality of law, litigation, and the rights within the Constitution that we all benefit from here in America. But not, apparently, in the town of Western.
Yes, they are.
No. No.
Supposed to be behind the post. I think that's why.
Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me. Please do not touch me.
Listen to me.
Please don't touch me. You cannot touch me.
Move this
You
back.
cannot touch me. Do you know this?
Let the sheriff's deputy handle it.
Please.
I'm sorry.
I tapped you on the shoulder to get your attention. Because you aren't paying attention. That needs
That's
to be
correct.
moved back. The
That's
sheriff
correct.
will take care of it.
Aisle 50s, I think. He's got a plaid shirt on, black pants, he's got glasses and black shoes.
After setting up their cameras, the town supervisor starts her fascist role of mitigating the constitutional rights of the public there to record the meeting in quiet. She states,
Well, he comes to these town board meetings and we have rules that have been set up. You guys had a problem last month too because he was disruptive. And we
Here, the supervisor embellishes her statement to the 911 center, filing a false claim of a disturbance which is clearly visually detailed as not occurring in the video here. The statements include additional false information and accusations of some unsubstantiated or unrelated issue in a previous meeting. Those charges that were filed with the police in that previous meeting were filed by one of the plaintiffs recording the meeting, filed against the town court clerk for grabbing at the plaintiff during the meeting, during their 5 minutes of public comment.
We have rules set up for videotaping in here. So I reminded him again tonight that there's only one camera per person. He's got 4 cameras set in here and totally refuses to even acknowledge that we're speaking to him.
As you can see, there is no public yet in attendance, there is no disturbance. The folks recording the meeting are silent, not moving, not interfacing. This is where the town board begins its process of weaponizing local law enforcement to disband and remove the recording equipment from the town board meetings. Unsuccessful as they are here, they will continue those tactics in order to discredit those recording as simply instigators of injustice, while those sitting at this table of good and evil are the real contraband here.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Bye. Bye. They're sending somebody out. Preston, have you gotten any of these reports yet?
Which one?
General fund.
You emailed them to me?
Yeah, I printed them too. You're welcome.
There is a private constituent-supplied microphone on a stand located 24 inches from the table as the policy in the town permits. According to his statements after knocking down that properly located microphone, we can see that per the town policy of being in the correct location, Len Charney seems to be fully misinformed of that policy he himself voted on. The town policy of 24 inches from the edge of that table is proper per policy for that public supplied microphone's location, a location that he himself discussed and voted on in the previous meeting less than 30 days ago. That policy adopted with the other board members at this table.
Please listen.
Leave them in. We'll let the sheriff's deputy.
You cannot touch me. Move this back. You cannot touch me. Do you know this?
We'll let the sheriff's deputy do it.
Please.
This video is in stark contrast and total disagreement with the town's call to the police for a disturbance at the town hall for a meeting which hasn't started yet and will not start for another 15 minutes. There has been and still is no disruption whatsoever. The town's now fully anchored process, falsifying calls to authorities of disruptions clearly not seen in the meeting's recordings, and yet the process of this town board of simply using the police, the weaponizing of law enforcement, to manhandle the public they should be serving but are not. This process will continue to be the mainstay of the town board's threats, retaliation, and retribution for the tax-paying public's insertion of their own recording equipment into the private business of the town boards in Weston. This will continue well into the future here, well, at least until law enforcement realize just what it is the town is doing. Folks from the town of Weston begin showing up for the meeting. They will be surprised to see exactly what this faux board has been up to, just moments after the meeting starts. It is then the board members can prance around with feathers on full display. The marvelous and forceful action of the town board, the great and powerful Oz and its tool of choice for this town. The weaponizing of law enforcement will be a hit with those in the town aching to be back in the bondage of the negligence of the town's own instilled darkness. Many here enjoy the bondage this board sports and applies in its duties here, in its arbitrary and limiting policies and laws. The board are giddy with the excitement of doing away with this recording scoundrel once and for all when the police arrive to scurry away with the unwanted cameraman and his pesky equipment. Here the police arrive and asks the person filming if he has any statements. He responds he does not. The first words spoken to anyone at that meeting. The officer then asks the camera person to come outside to discuss the issue. The town supervisor requests that he remove his cameras and his microphones. The officer agrees.
Okay, you want me to take the cameras? Okay, beautiful. Let's take the cameras. And the microphones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The investigation continues outside of the building. Starting right now, the town is directly preventing the public from exercising their rights to record these meetings and publish material if that information is held from being made available to them through misrepresentation of the policy and misrepresentation of a disruption of a meeting that hasn't successfully been argued or been proven.
No, it doesn't say in there that there's a policy for one camera per person.
This is new?
That is not, the last policy that I saw, which was last week, doesn't say anything about one camera per person.
Okay.
That's why I want you to grab the policy, but unless they added it and they changed it, but I have a copy at my house that I can get for you.
I mean,
shows no.
yeah, but why would they tell you? Why are they gonna lie to you? Just hear me out. Lie to you, but then go as far as calling the police, and then it's a bogus piece of paper, anyways.
It's a good question.
Right. So chances are, and I haven't even looked at it. Right.
Exactly.
Chances are that's probably on their policy. Right. We'll have to take that as we go. Let me talk to her. Let me look at the policy before we do what.
And the next thing is what is a disturbance? Because if you have a chance to review the video that we're taking right now, you will see that there was not a word uttered by Carol or I. We sat in our chairs the whole time. As she said, we even told him that he could have no more than one camera, and he refused to say anything.
Right, so if you're not saying anything, that's fine. But you can also cause a disturbance and a disruptance
How's that?
without you know,
But moving,
physical.
without moving
Right,
or talking?
right. So if they're directing their attention to you multiple times.
This statement by the uninformed officer has since been proven to be not true. A member of the public simply watching a town board meeting without causing a disturbance directly cannot be considered as being a disturbance. Any disturbance not proven is a useless or false call, even if a given policy of the board is not being followed. Law enforcement would simply state that policy concern would be an issue for the courts and not for law enforcement unless that failure to follow policy is followed by a disturbance that is directly a result of the individual's actions outside of the policy
If
statute.
you were just-
understand.
if they were just mad because you were ignoring them, I'm not going to say that's a disturbance. I'll talk to them about that as well.
Sure.
And we'll go from there.
Sure.
But I got to get their side.
This is 100% what civil rights abuse territory looks like. The officer is reviewing that policy now. Was the call made to the police, along with the information provided by the town, false and misleading? Was this a bogus call by the town with nothing in policy to support that call by the town board? Did the town create an unwarranted police investigation using false pretenses to corral and take away the constitutional right of the public to hold their servants in Weston accountable? Was this a planned and blatant disregard for the public and the Constitution which the members of the town board have signed an oath to serve and to protect? The investigation continues. The sheriff deputy, at our request, returns to ask for a copy of the Town of Weston recording policy to validate the policy as it was last provided during a vote of the board in public. To verify that the complaint of one camera per person, as alleged by the town supervisor in the call to authorities, is a viable policy. Update: even though it may be policy in the town for one camera per person, the police are not there to enforce policy, only to process safety or disturbance issues. Therefore, the call to enforce a policy which is not a law in the town would not be up to the police, but the police should inform the parties that issue would be up to the courts.
There's no difference. As far as policy goes, today you can continue with your cameras because it's not in there. She has a rough draft. It just says cameras are the owner's responsible for cameras. It does say not to be unattended,
Correct.
but it doesn't say one camera per person as of tonight.
So I reminded him again tonight that there's only one camera per person. He's got 4 cameras set in here.
The town supervisor may have signed their oath of office card, but based on trying to have the public detained or arrested for doing nothing wrong, well, that's truly not supported in the Constitution nor the law, and that's what this town supervisor promised those that elected them. And that goes for Len Charney and Pete Donahue Sr. as well, 2 council persons there at the meeting, but not stopping the activity. In fact, by not stopping it, they welcomed it and participated in the process. The town has now prevented the press or the public from recording the meeting due to a bogus call to the police using misrepresentation of facts, citing non-existing policy, and misrepresenting this individual as a recurring disturbance in the town. All false statements. The First Amendment clearly states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Further, the town supervisor requested personally, and as the board, that the camera operator remove his cameras and microphones, preventing recording of the meeting without mitigating circumstance. This is clearly harassment, retaliation, and retribution to prevent due process of the First Amendment of the Constitution of freedom of the press, to record these meetings and report on them in whatever fashion we as the public desire, be it on social media, from a rock or a stump, at the town hall or at the town park.